So let me explain what this video is. What you're seeing on the top right is me, but it's not me actually playing. I'm just watching other pro players. And those players are the ones you see on the list on the left of the screen. Thijs, Lifecoach, Kolento, SuperJJ and Brian Kibler. What I did was download a 30-minute VOD of each of them, all playing a different deck. I did this because I wanted to see how much different we all actually play the game and how that changes between different players and different decks. So before each real decision, I paused the game and made sure to decide exactly how I would play it before I resumed the game. And by each real decision, I'm obviously not counting passing the turn when you can't play anything, and I'm also not counting hitting for lethal when you have an obvious lethal on board. I am counting mulligans though, and even somewhat easy decisions like playing your only 2-drop over hero powering. In most cases, the whole turn has to be played the exact same way for me to count it as agree. So if we play the same card but decide to trade a slightly bit differently, that counts as a disagree. Also, the actual placement of creatures, whenever it's relevant, has to be the same, and also the right play order, such as killing a shredder before playing a minion instead of the other way around. The video, as you can see, is sped up about 30 times, and you can see in the agree-disagree columns how it adds up as I go along. So here are some of my conclusions, and I numbered them for absolutely no particular reason. 1. There are often so many different ways to play a turn, and you notice this much more when you're actually pausing, deciding, and then comparing. If you just watch other players play live, it's so easy to think that you would do the same play, when more often than you'd imagine, you probably wouldn't. 2. Don't blame RNG that you're not a top player. I consider myself a pretty good player with a lot of potential, but I do lack a lot of experience, and because of that I'm not playing nearly as well as the top players. I'm sure there are a lot of people like me who consider themselves smart and good at strategy games, but the reason we're not at the top of the Legend leaderboard every month, or maybe even reaching Legend despite playing a lot, it's not because of bad RNG. It's because we're not playing good enough, which brings me to number 3. They disagreed with my decision nearly 40% of the time. That's huge. I mean, that's way more than I expected. I'm sure if others try this experiment, you will also find your number to be higher than you expected, even if it may not be as high as mine. And again, as a reminder, I counted it as a disagree if not everything in the turn was played the same way. Which brings me to 4. Some decks have way more possible decisions. As a freeze mage, you often don't have any board, so there was no risk of disagreeing with trades, etc. But with Zulok, there are tons of small decisions, such as exactly where to put your Defender of Argus, or the exact minions to trade with, etc. That's why the disagree numbers for the Kolento games increased as soon as the board got bigger. And Patron Warriors always have a lot of options, which combined with the fact that I don't have a lot of Patron experience made those games actually have the highest disagree percentage. Number 5. Are you sitting down for this one? Because this one blew my mind. It turns out that Lifecoach actually plays slower than the others, as evidenced by the total numbers of decisions in 30 minutes. Who knew? Number 6. SuperJJ was extremely salty in this VOD. I almost wanted to put up a "this is retarded" counter on the screen because he must have said it 20 times in the first 10 minutes of the video. Now, in his defense, I think he was just having a really bad day. and he was running into opponent after opponent who all curved out perfectly. Number 7. Even pros make bad plays. I would estimate that there were 6 or 7 plays where I'm 100% convinced that my play was better, but considering the total number of times we disagree being 68, it's no wonder they perform better. So just throwing some numbers out of my ass here, I'd guess I was correct about 6 or 7 times. It was probably very close, about 20 times. And around 40 times their play was probably or clearly better. Number 8, speaking of mistakes, Thijs misclicked living roots for 2 1/1 saplings when his opponent was at 1 health. Number 9, this was fun. I recommend people try it. But if you do, and I repeat this again, pausing as soon as the first card is drawn and deciding before you resume is crucial. Also being completely honest, obviously. It's so easy to go, oh right, obviously I would have done that as well, when you're watching live. Try it out. Finally, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Feel free to subscribe for more Hearthstone videos, and if you try this experiment yourself, please comment on your results. Links to Twitch, Twitter and Instagram are in the description, and thank you for watching.